come I gotta go to Venezuela?
Because you didn't have the sense to get killed.
I don't want to go to Venezuela.
You should have thought of that when you deserted.
Oops, I did it again. I think I did it again. I made you believe we're more than just friends. Oh, baby, it might seem like...
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to What the Hell Happened to Them? A title fight is brewing. That's right, this season, Eddie Murphy versus Jim Carrey. I am your host, Patrick Scahill, and joining me on the line is vibrator salesman Joe Veckman.
Hi.
You didn't like that one, did you? Yeah. And on the audio boards is Lev Van Rensselaer, reminding me to remind you that you can email the cast at whathappenedtothemcast@gmail.com. And our sponsor this week is Candied Apple Computers, the delicious snack for the busy coder. A mere $800 per snack. Okay, that Apple tax, you know. Joe, what movie we doing this week?
We watched Richard Lester's semi-masterpiece, Finders Keepers from 1984. Yeah, hot take. I love this movie! I had a great time rewatching the movie.
Oh, you've seen the movie before?
I've watched it in like twice in 3 days.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's right. We were talking about that on the phone. That's right. Okay.
So good.
Yes, starring Jim Carrey, not Eddie Murphy. You would think that we were only doing a Jim Carrey season if you had only been listening to the first 8 episodes.
Well, don't worry. Next week.
Next week we're back to Eddie. All right.
We're back to Eddie.
The good news for our title fight contention is that Eddie Murphy's still winning, despite only being in 2 instead of 5 films.
I would say this one's a contender. We got a contender.
Yeah, but Eddie Murphy is
I know, he's like 48 Hours and Trading Places. He's got 2 giant box office hits.
Yeah, and he's not the star, but he's 1 B in 2-handers, so... And Jim Carrey, in what was probably his best movie, was in it for 6 minutes or something.
That is so generous.
So, Jim Carrey just had a very busy couple years, but he had a busy couple years because he wasn't in any of them, or they took 5 days to make or whatever. I don't know. This was notably the first one of these movies that didn't have his big fat fucking face on the cover trying to market it.
I actually don't think he's anywhere on the cover.
Yeah, they were like, oh, we're a real movie, so, just come and watch us for all the other things.
I have another spoiler for you. I bought the movie. That's how much I loved it. As soon as it was over, I was like, let's go on Amazon. And then they're like, doesn't exist. And I'm like, what? So,
well, I did find it because I was like, is this one of the movies that doesn't have a DVD? Is this what this is? Has a DVD. Surprisingly, has a Blu-ray, which I was really shocked about.
Blu-ray.
Yeah, all
out
right.
of print.
Give me the summary first, and then I can tell you. Well, 1842 here on Amazon. That's pretty reasonable.
That's what I bought it for.
It's cheaper than the DVD.
Yeah.
And pretty close to the VHS tape price, which is
strange.
Crazy. What's the summary?
On the run from the police and a female roller derby team, scam artist Michael Rangeloff steals a coffin and boards a train, pretending to be a soldier, bringing home a dead war buddy.
I wish the roller derby team kept coming up.
Me too. What a great little thing at the beginning.
Good little thing. You had the cop after him, and he was, I recognized, as the guy who played Herman Munster.
That is Herman Munster?
Not in the sitcom.
Yes.
He played it in the daytime syndicated version, The Munsters Today.
John Schuck. I'm looking at him right now. Oh, he's in MASH. That's where I know him from.
Yeah, so then I looked him up to make sure he was that guy, and he turns out he's just like an Altman dude. He's in quite a few Altman films.
I knew I recognized him from somewhere. I've seen all the Altmans now.
And we also saw the FBI guy before. Perhaps you remember the weird scientist dude from Theodore Rex.
Oh, no, I don't remember. I know we watched that like maybe 4 months ago.
Why did I remember that? Well, because he was also in the Drew Carey Show episode from season 2, maybe 3, where Drew Carey gets found out by the zoning inspector that he has a brewery in his garage. Has to go to the town council to defend the right to have it, and the FBI guy's there, and he thinks that aliens are in the neighborhood, and he goes to the town council every week to complain about it. There you go. Theodore Rex and the Drew Carey Show. And also, the dad from Rugrats.
Wait, he's the dad from Rugrats?
Yeah.
Wait, is he Stu?
That's the dad. I know there are many dads, but that's the dad, right?
Yeah, it is the dad.
That's the dad.
The
He's not
purple-haired
Chucky's
inventor.
dad. He's not Angelica's dad.
No.
He's the dad. All right. So you like this movie? You know what? Here's the deal.
You did.
I liked the screwballiness of it.
Yes.
And there were many times where things would happen, and I would go, oh, this is quite amusing. And then all of a sudden I realized, I'm like, okay, but I'm never laughing. Why am I not laughing?
Oh, rude. I laugh. Yes.
I never laugh, but I did find the jokes amusing most of the time. So do I like this? Am I just not a laugh out loud person? But then I watch a season 8 of The Simpsons, and of course I am. But then it's unfair to compare this to season 8 of The Simpsons. So I don't know.
That's rude. It's not on that level. we just discussed that. No, well, I'll tell you. I wasn't like a reprimanding, but Tanya was questioning. She's like, "What are you laughing at so loudly?" And I'm like, "It's funny. It's actually funny." Like she's downstairs and she's like, "What are you laughing at?" I would say it's mostly the last like 10 to 12 minutes where it just becomes a fucking Looney Tunes cartoon. It's absurd. I love it.
Once I realized we were stuck on a train.
Yes, we were stuck on a train for about 40 minutes.
I'm into this. Yeah, let's see. Yeah. I like this more than in Trading Places, so let's see how this kind of plays out. I was kind of sad when they got off the train for good. I was like, what about the conductor?
Yes. Oh my God, the conductor.
Who's on like MVP level with the camera guy from Money Monster, you know? Like he's just doing his job so well. Calling up Nixon.
What a callback.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, is this one of your Watergate watches now?
We got secret Watergate watches. He's calling up Nixon for favors. Checkers again being talked about, even though he's been long dead. Way to go, historians in the movie.
Well, I don't know. I couldn't tell. This movie was made in 1984, but it's set earlier. It's based off a book that's set in the 70s, so I guess that's when it's set.
Yes, it was set in like 1973 or 4.
Yeah, the novel's from 74.
I was like, why did it need to be set earlier? And then it never seemed to came up other than when they'd have news stories about Spiro Agnew and Richard Nixon Watergate stuff. And I was like, is there a commentary we're doing here? I don't think that there is by the end of it.
Did you catch what they kept calling him, though?
Calling who? Nixon?
Yeah, Nickerson. Yeah, we know a Richard.
The ticket guy. We do know. Yeah, maybe it's the same guy.
He wasn't born yet.
Yeah. Some bits I liked, but never laughed at again. I took the time to write them down because I enjoyed them.
I'll tell you some of my favorite bits.
It's like when we go to the mayor, Brian Dennehy, like behind him, there's just like this group of ballerinas and one like suspiciously older lady. Thought that was a great image. She's doing a bad job of it too. What's the main lady? What's
Beverly D'Angelo? She's from the Vacation movies.
She like tries to fall asleep and hits her head against the window. She's like heating up her coffee with a blow dryer.
She's just also got some, like the first 5 minutes introductory of her character is just some of the most awful hate like speech ever. Like she's just constantly using the F slur. I'm like, what is going on? And then she just drops that like hatred very quickly. I'm like, okay, I'm glad we moved past that because that was really awkward. And it doesn't fit with the tone at all.
She hated all men at the beginning. Well, it did. Here's the deal. It sort of did at the time. Obviously not funny now.
I guess it was just weird. But I'm glad they moved past it because it was just like, my little ding for it.
When the ticket taker sort of opens up the case where his teapot is set, you go, oh no. And then the teapot just is glued to it. So it stays on there. There are these quick verbal exchanges back and forth between many passengers. There's this dentist joke thing. Yep. A lot of good moments in the movie. Never laughed, though.
There's the part where they're like the Lou Gossett Jr. and Michael
The Deus Ex Machina, Lou Gossett Jr.?
Yes, he's incredible. He's so good in this movie.
Comes out of nowhere.
This is like right after he won an Oscar,
Don't know
right?
why he's saving the maybe.
officer and a gentleman.
Oh my God, I forgot. We got an email, Joe. Let's get to town.
Email.
We got an email. Yes, here's why you reminded me of it. Let me pull this bad boy up.
Oh, the Oscars, right?
This is from Turbana G in Montana. Didn't know that podcast's in Montana. No, I'm just joking, Montana. And she writes, I think it's a she. She writes, they write, loved the last episode, especially when you guys can't really talk about the movie very much and it just turns into a potpourri episode. I love Joe confidently stating that Laura Dern hasn't been in a Baumbach movie when she won an Oscar for one. Now, I didn't remember that either, so I had to look it up.
My one defense is I was in the middle of having my first child was being born, like a week before that movie came out. My head was spinning and I forgot. I'm sorry, Laura Dern, and I'm sorry.
Sorry, Noah Baumbach.
Yes.
Good catch, Turbana.
I really like that movie too. Wow, that's embarrassing. Sorry.
What a great movie to watch right before you have a child and now you realize you're stuck in this marriage for a long time.
Yeah, I think we watched it on my birthday. We watched that movie, and then we watched Big Daddy after, and I'm like, we're naming him Julian, okay?
That's a good palate cleanser.
It was. I was like, I need something to make me happy.
All right, Lou Gossett Jr., yep, coming out of nowhere. Turns out he was on the train the whole time, saving the day. No one's confused why he's there, and then they're best friends at the end. What were you going to say about him?
I was just gonna. There's like some lines where they're just like talking about the money that they're trying to steal, and they're just like $5 million, and they're just like murmuring 5 million, but they're like clearly saying it, and then people are looking at them, and then the people go back to what they were doing, and I'm like, this is phenomenal. I loved when Beverly D'Angelo is tied up in the chair while the house is moving, and the robber guy, I don't remember his name, but the robber guy is just like trying to rip off his shirt to shove something in her mouth because she can't stop screaming, and so he can't rip the shirt, so he's just panicking, and so he just rips off his hair and shoves it in her mouth.
Yeah.
and then there's a part like a few minutes later where Michael O'Keefe is coming to her rescue, and he goes to jump on the chandelier, and he's gonna go do like a drop kick to this robber guy, and he falls on the chandelier, loses balance, it drops to the floor because none of the house is put together, and he falls on his face, and then Beverly D'Angelo's chair goes right up to the roof, and then he's like, and then he thinks really quick, and then he lets go the chandelier, and it drops on the guy who's like right underneath her. It's so good.
We got like this Keystone Cops kind of thing going on here. This
I loved it all.
Happening here.
And the house like just falling apart when he's going through, like the whole last 10 minutes is just like some of my favorite stuff I've seen in a long time.
The plotting is very impressive because like all these different factors have to happen, and this throwaway thing of this guy's identity and the dead guy's identity turns out to matter for like a 25-minute stretch of time too. It was all very well interwoven.
Yeah.
Other than the cop and the roller derby people never coming back.
Yeah. I did like that at the beginning.
If you had a way to bring that back in at the end, like you had a really tight movie.
Yes. Instead of a home run, it would have been a grand slam. Right? That's a baseball metaphor, right? I don't watch baseball.
But now you just watch basketball. Is there a basketball version? Slam dunk, 3-point shot?
Yeah, it's something like that. I'm still learning. Leave me alone.
Alley-oop.
I don't know all the terminology. Alley-oop, that sounds great. So, yeah, Jim Carrey comes in as, God, even like the names, you don't think the names would be like, could be used as a joke. And then Beverly D'Angelo like screws up the guy's name. She's like, I'm his widow. And then she's like, cough. It's cough. And then she's like, And I'm like, wow, just excellent. Just comedy of errors. Perfect.
Some witty verbal play there. That's what I'm saying. Sure. Like pretty much all the other ones, a good role for Jim Carrey, I thought.
Yeah.
He's not in it much, but I don't know if I'd want to give him any of the other roles anyway. He even makes jokes out of stuff that maybe weren't in the script, like he pronounces Venezuela wrong.
Yeah, he does. I noticed that too.
That's an amusing little note. I don't know if that was intentional, but whoever thought of that was a good time.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Great time. So This movie was directed by Richard Lester in 1984. Yeah, he had just directed Superman 2 and Superman 3.
What? That's interesting, because I looked up the bad guy girl, and I'm like, who the fuck is this lady? Have I seen her before? And I went, no, but she was in Superman 3. And I thought, that's odd. I guess he just wanted to bring her back.
Yeah, no, he's got an interesting career, because he also did the Beatles, a few Beatles movies, A Hard Day's Night, Help.
I mean, there are really only a few of them, so he might have just done all of them.
Oh, really? I mean, not the biggest Beatles fan.
People forget, like, the Beatles weren't really together for that many years. They sort of exploded really big and then kind of went on their own way.
Yeah, and they definitely make a Beatles joke in this, where it's just a passing remark, where he's just like, I don't like the Beatles.
Because they were still very relevant, and I think, I guess John Lennon probably was dead, but...
Was he dead then? Died in 1980, the day after my birthday in 1980.
Auspicious day, your birthday.
I mean, this is the day after, but yes, my birthday is Pearl Harbor Day. Let me tell you, this movie had a $7 million budget. Pretty good.
Okay.
Right? There's a lot of train stuff. There's a house being demolished.
Yeah, I don't
Cars.
really... I don't honestly know what that exchange rate would be. Nah, I guess I'll look that up while you keep talking.
Didn't do well. Made $1.4 million at the box office. I believe that because I've never heard of this movie until now, but it has some fun songs on the soundtrack.
It had a lot more of a soundtrack than I didn't think the movie had a gigantic budget, so I was surprised. Yeah. That's where a lot of the budget went, maybe.
What's the conversion rate on that? You got it yet?
You know what? It is still pretty low, $21 million, which is to say a movie that wouldn't get made today.
Yeah. Let me tell you, Michael O'Keefe turned down the opportunity of working with Jack Lemmon playing the young priest in Mass Appeal to do this movie.
I haven't heard of that movie either, so...
But guess what? He made the right decision! This movie's great. The movie's opening title card states Northern California, 1973. Do you remember seeing that?
Nope.
Yeah, I don't either. I remember none of that. That's why when I saw the taglines like, a train ride from coast to coast, I'm like, coast to coast? What?
I mean, the train technically does go to New York, just not with our main characters.
Yeah, they stop in Nebraska.
They stop in Nebraska thanks to the ticket takers intervening.
Oh, God, everything in that Nebraska area. It was when they get off the train and they have to, you can hear the guy talking to Richard Nixon or someone talking to Richard Nixon, and then the conductor, and then Brian Dennehy's at the train station. He's trying to convince, who is this? A cousin who's there and she's wrote a poem.
That's his daughter.
That's his daughter?
The cousin of Jim Carrey. Yeah.
Yes.
She's the giant ballerina lady.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What's going on with her?
She's, not all there, I would say. And then I looked her up. I'm like, oh, I like this lady. And she has been in nothing else.
She's funny.
I liked her. So I'm like, oh, let's see what else she's done. Nothing. Just this only thing, this one thing. I don't know why. A favor to somebody. Maybe she found out she didn't like acting. I don't know.
She's definitely someone on set's daughter or something, right? we have to assume.
No, that was a funny bit. The coughing thing you brought up happens there too.
But the poem she reads, like how she's going, she's like, I'll see you at your coffin, and I don't know. It was just great. I mean,
you've only watched it twice. You don't remember the poem? Jeez, Joe.
I got a little thing going on right now. Sorry.
Well, let's take a moment to go over Julia in general news that's come across my table recently. In general. In general.
Yes.
Oh, Joe, this will make you happy.
It makes me so happy. One of my favorite filmmakers.
This is from a tweet from Film Updates.
Mm-hmm.
Julia Roberts to star in After the Hunt, directed by Luca Guadagnino. Is that how do I say his name?
Luca Guadagnino, yep.
Hey, I kind of got there.
You got it.
We all know you're a big fan of him. Julia just kind of working with, talented directors.
I know.
Pretty good.
It's so nice. What a change of pace. Well, I mean, her favorite, he has passed on, Gary Marshall. 4 or 5 movies? How many did she do? How many Mother's Days?
That's just her like, thanks for the Oscar, Gary. Oh, no, wait. She didn't even get an Oscar then.
No, it was Soderbergh. Work with Soderbergh more, Julia. Twice? Not enough.
Soderbergh can't afford Julia. He's spending like $5 a movie these days.
I don't want to be called out again. I was forgetting the Ocean's movies. You know what I remembered? Aaron Brockovich and Full Frontal. Those are the two movies
Yeah, I don't blame you.
should make you happy.
Sure does. What's the movie about? This film was an intense dramatic thriller about a college professor who finds herself at a professional and personal crossroads when a star pupil levels an accusation against one of her colleagues and a dark secret from her own past starts to come to light. You know, haven't been the biggest Luca fan as of late, but I think I'd check that out. Because it kind of, well, one, I have to, but two, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Teacher's Lounge. I get the vibes from the Teacher's Lounge movie. So I'm like, all right, that could be cool.
No, and I'm just happy to, Luca's working with like a mega star, like always working with those mega stars. But like now it's like a little older instead of like the young. He's been working with Timmy a lot. Yeah, but when in Call Me by Your Name, was he big superstar yet, or was this like his coming out?
That was pardon the pun.
It was I Am Love with Tilda. Then he did a bigger splash with Tilda again. But yeah, no, Call Me by Your Name was huge. It got the Oscar love.
Yeah.
So a lot of Oscar love. And then he did Suspiria.
With Tilda playing nearly every role.
Great. An old man.
An old man who... Sure, Tilda, just play whoever. Fine.
You like her, right? I do
Tilda. Like her. I do like her. I like her because she's like, I want to play myself and also my evil twin sister. Okay, fine. Whatever, Tilda. Go for it.
What movie was that?
That's the Bong Joon-ho movie.
Oh, okay, because it kind of also sounded like Hail Caesar, where she plays her twin sister. They're both critics in that movie. So it's like I don't know if they did something like in the camera where they had her just leave at one direction, then come in as another, like with a quick costume change, because it's like an uncut thing. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Have you seen Hail Caesar?
No, I skipped that one.
Oh, well, watch it. It's funny.
Nah.
Good George Clooney.
And we've also got a Sandler watch this week.
Sandler Watch.
What? Did I know about this? I don't know.
There's a lot of scuttle going about the internet these days they say that there's a script for Happy Gilmore 2 circulating.
Oh, no. I saw this. Yeah. Less excited about this.
Here's my chief thought, though. It obviously cannot get Bob Barker back. He's dead. But you got the next best thing. You got his replacement. Drew Carey could pop by and make an appearance.
That would be fun.
Yeah, Drew Carey,
like that.
Comedian actor, might feel a little more at home, and you could do like more with him.
Do you think is Drew Carey close to the age that Bob Barker was, or is that because he's getting up there, right? He's gonna be in his 60s now.
He doesn't look like it.
Well, with modern medicine.
Well, yeah. All right, let's see. Drew Carey's age right now.
They also lived a lot harder back then.
Drew Carey, 65 years old. He can collect Social Security.
Hey, senior citizen, right?
That's right. Bob Barker, at the time Happy Gilmore came out, was 73 years old.
Okay, 8 years. By the time Happy Gilmore gets made, they'll be closer.
So you already got a script. Adam Sandler gets to do whatever he wants these days, it seems.
Sure, yeah. Let him.
Right.
What was his last real miss? I know you don't like Leo that much, but when was his last, like, big miss?
It was Ridiculous 6. The Netflix era has been a totally reasonable...
Almost a decade ago.
I know.
He's on a streak.
Netflix, for all the crap we give him, somehow has resuscitated Adam Sandler's creative output.
Yeah.
All right. You got any other thoughts on Finders Keepers?
Hidden gem. People look this up and seek it out, please.
We've got Joe's early contender for the Southland Tales Award.
I mean, I don't know where it gets better from this. I mean, I've seen most of the Jim Carrey movies. I've got a lot of blank spots, Eddie Murphy, but Jim Carrey, how do you get better than this? I mean, he's great in this too. He's so good. He's not asked much, but you know what? When he lands it really well. Like when the cop comes to his, like the cop peeks in the window when Dennehy's like, we gotta hide you because you're a deserter. And then the cop comes in. He's just like, put your hands up. Jim Carrey immediately just puts his fucking hands up. Like he's just like not questioning it at all. He's like, yep, you caught me. And I'm like, you dumbass. And that's like kind of where they end, right? That's like the last scene for Jim.
The storyline is they're gonna get caught and go to jail. No, he's got this little physical comedy thing with this toy plane too that like explodes in his hands.
Yeah. Oh, great call on that. I'm so glad you brought that up.
Like most of his career, Jim Carrey's been appropriately cast.
This is his second official one, theatrical release.
What's his first?
The one we did last week. What was that called? All in Good Taste.
Oh, that I don't count that as a real movie.
Well,
I'm
the
not
world
counting
does.
it. This movie here, it starts up, Kino Lorber comes on, I go, what? We getting a real movie? But then it said CBS Films, and I go, are we getting a real movie?
We did.
Getting a real movie, had real actors, and I spent a lot of the movie like, is the Vacation lady? Has Vacation come out yet? Am I making this up? Is that not the same person?
Maybe. I'll look that up right now.
Getting started. Lou Gossett Jr., I know.
He got the Oscar for Officer and a Gentleman 2 years earlier.
So I was trying to figure out what is going on with the film here.
Vacation. That's like 85, right? 83. So she had just done it the summer before.
So she's probably casted that out knowing that movie's going to be a big hit. She's just taking these comedy roles. I liked her in this role more than I like her in those roles, but
yep, I agree.
I like these, crazy ass drama ladies. They hit all my right buttons. I'm like, wow, lady, you're such a mess and so attractive.
Again, everybody's just great at, like, so great. There's a cop that's like trying to get information and he's like going place to place. He goes to the bar and he's talking to the bartender. The bartender's like,
that's the FBI guy. That's the guy that was Drew Carey's weird neighbor.
Oh jeez.
And Theodore Rex guy. Like, here we go.
Yes, this guy.
Drew Pickles.
Yeah, he goes to talking to the bartender, and the bartender's like, "Where did this woman go to?" And he's like, "Out there." And he's like, "What's out there?" "The street." That's what he says. The street.
Yeah.
And I'm like, excuse. And then the FBI just like, all right. He's just like, I'm not getting anything from you people. This is pointless. Oh God, loved it all. Loved all of the little bits. They're just like really like subtle. Like if you're not, with these like lesser ones, I usually just like I have it on and I'm like folding laundry in the room. I'm like, okay, but like this one dialed in so hard. Especially the second time, too. I was like, I got to catch all the little bits. So good.
I wonder if, because the Screwball revival had kind of faded by this point in the 80s, but I wonder if the director was like, well, the movie's set in the early 70s. Let's do it in a comedy style of the early 70s. Right? Because, like, if it's based off a book,
yep.
Like, how many funny novels are there? Right? Is the novel the best delivery for humor? So, like, maybe it's just telling this tale of these two wayward lovers that find a bunch of money on a train, And then he adds a lot of the comedy elements, so you can add a lot of physicality and goofiness and wordplay because you wanted to capture the comedy spirit of that era.
I'm also just remembering when Michael O'Keefe is he's hiding from the roller derby girls. He's in, like, someone's backyard. There's a woman, like, sunbathing in a bikini, and he's like, oh, finally, just let me like just hide out here, just let's be quiet. And then she pulls a gun on him. And he's just like, oh, come on. And then he's like telling her, he's like, five women are chasing me, and she's like, five women, huh? You're getting chased by five. You must be good if you got five women chasing you. And then they go upstairs into her house. She keeps like telling him, she's like, oh, don't worry, my husband won't be home till night. And then he like the scene before, he like spills like jam on his clothes. And he's like, I gotta go get this like cleaned up, so I'm gonna go home and get changed. And then he gets to his house, and the first thing he does, he's walking up the stairs. He trips on a roller skate, but the way he falls down, he's like, whoa! It
reminded me, there's some sitcom episode where a main guy is like dating this woman, and her thing getting off is like having the husband come home and catch them.
Oh, wow.
And she's like trying to like keep him there to pretend he's not really there. I cannot remember for the life of me what if you guys could think of what episode of From What Sitcom I'm talking about, you can email the cast at whathappenedtothem@gmail.com.
I'm very sorry I forgot Laura Dern won an Oscar in a Noah Baumbach movie. That's so embarrassing.
That doesn't feel like a very Noah Baumbach film. Like, I forgot he even directed it.
Yeah, we're talking about Marriage Story. We haven't even said the title of the movie.
Yeah, I guess I thought we did earlier. But yeah,
I've only seen it once.
It felt like it was more traditionally, quote-unquote, directed. The script felt not Noah Baumbach-y, but also, again, more high dramatic-y than he's also good at doing. I don't know, like It
was also his biggest Oscar play, too.
Yeah, maybe that's why.
3 acting awards.
They were like, what if we had less nuance? Maybe the Academy will notice us then.
I don't think he was nominated for director, though. That was a big year. Finders Keepers. I bought it. It's great.
Is that your last looks? I bought it. It's good.
Yes. There's only one more copy on eBay that I saw that was available, so I was like, well, I'm going to get it right now. There's 2. I bought one of them. So someone, whoever listens to this, go get it.
Go get it quick before it all dries up.
It's out of print, so I was like, well, if I don't get it now, there's a chance I could be paying $40 for this, so I'm like, no.
My last looks? Why does Jim Carrey do this movie?
Yeah.
Well,
what's your last looks?
He doesn't want to do Copper Mountains the rest of his life, I'm pretty sure.
Hopefully not. I hope he has bigger ambitions.
Did a bigger studio production. It was a comedy film. He didn't, despite not getting to do his various impression things like he's been able to do in a lot of these movies. 1, he didn't have to get naked. 2,
wow.
Still a pretty good comedy role for him. Gets to be young, naive, Midwestern doofus. Seems to fit him perfectly.
Perfect. Even though he's from Canada.
Canadian, presumably intelligent man.
Yeah.
Smart enough to be a comedian anyway. It's not an easy job.
No.
So a perfectly fine choice for him to start his career. If you had told me this was his first film, I'd say makes perfect sense.
I wished this was his first film. I wish I could go back in time and just say, we don't need to see those.
We don't need to see these first 4 films. Rubberface was all right.
It's fine. He's not even the highlight of that movie.
Well, that's the thing, too. Like, am I feeling so refreshed by Finders Keepers because of what came beforehand?
Can you not tell I am? I was in a desert, and I'm like, oh, bits! There are bits!
Like, if this had been our first movie, did we just go like, yeah, it was all right?
Yeah, but then we're going to be in a drought for like the next 7 weeks.
Yeah, is this so great? Because we sat through not real movies that were like, a real movie, finally. An oasis.
Well, I mean, I did watch it twice in 3 days, and I was like, opinion holds. I liked it.
I mean, that is impressive, right? I haven't done that since like the shooting, so I get where you're coming from.
Oh, you didn't get to rewatch it?
No, I did rewatch. Oh, this one? I did not, but I did look over my notes again.
Yeah, sometimes when you rewatch things, I know that you're like, it works for me less. So I'm glad you only watched it once, because I don't know how comedies...
Sometimes it works for me more. Like, perhaps I watched Nostalgia again, and it's like my 3rd time watching the movie, and it's always been one on the lesser half of the Tarkovsky spectrum. It still is, because most of his films are so great, but I'm like, oh, I get this now. Like, my 3rd time, I'm finally like, all right, I really get what he's doing here. It's not just the impressiveness of the technical craft, which I've always liked in that film, but I'm like, I get what the narrative is doing here. Finally, it clicked.
I like when that happens for me with just, like, basic movies. So I'm like, oh, that's what this is about? I feel like a moron sometimes.
I had the thing where I'm like, it was my first time watching it in a theater, so I'm like, is that, like, the reason for it? Or was it just I needed to watch it a couple times to get it? So I don't know, but
sometimes
it was nice that the theater wasn't empty when I watched it yesterday at 2 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's some real freaks out there.
I know. There is a 4K restoration, I guess, which last time they did that, we got Lost Highway from the Criterion, so I'm hoping...
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's got a good track record on there.
One step closer to finishing the Criterion Tarkovsky collection. There's only 2 left. Let's go,
guys. They're definitely going to do it, and they're going to double dip with a fucking box set.
Yeah, I know, and I'm like, oh, I already own them all, but of course I'm going to get the fucking box set.
Well, it's like one of your favorite directors. So.
I know. They just got me by the fucking balls, you asshole. It's fine.
Sometimes it's okay. It's not like you bought them like all yesterday.
I know. But now I've just got like this preponderance of, so now I got to give out the DVDs. But then I like the covers of the DVDs. Maybe I turn it into like this shadow box picture frame thing on my wall.
Wow.
That actually doesn't sound like a terrible idea.
No, it's a great idea. I love it.
Like our sponsor, Candy Apples. Is that Candied Apples Computers? I feel like I'm saying it wrong, but there they are. For the Silicon Valley listeners out there, it sounds like it's right up your alley. I'd like to thank Lev Van Rensselaer for on those audio boards and keeping the sound so slippery smooth. I'd like to thank my co-host Joe Beckman for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
And I am your host, Patrick Scahill. You can find my features, documentary, short films, video essays, animations, behind-the-scenes footage, and so much more at QuixoticUnited.com and social media, presumably with a similar sounding name. Thank you all for listening. Joe, say goodnight.
Good night.
Oops, I did it again. I played with your heart, got lost in the game. Oh, baby, baby, oops, you think I'm in love, but I'm sent from above. I'm not that innocent. I've got like 8 to 10 episodes of the Drew Carey Show left in my rewatch.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, what am I going to do after that? And here was my thought. Paul Germany told me of a book club he'd heard of, and they spent 28 years reading Finnegan's Wake, notably hard book by James Joyce. Yeah, every week they'd meet, or every other week, and they would talk about one page of Finnegan's Wake on average, and it took them 28 years. And then they were like, all right, what do we do now that we've done this? Let's read it again.
Oh.
So maybe I'll just start watching it again. The rewatch is taking me a while because I threw it at the Norm Macdonald HD things were thrown in there too, and I would take care of other things, and I was shooting stuff. So maybe I'll just watch it again. It's been a while since I've seen the other ones.
I like it.
I'm in the sad season now, so I just gotta kind of. It's got some nice moments, but everybody's kind of getting tired and. They spent the first half doing this weird single camera thing, and I was looking at parts of the house I'd never seen before, and I didn't want to do that. I don't want to see the backside of Drew's living room. That's where the studio audience is supposed to be. What are you doing?
Yeah, that must really warp the show.
It doesn't. The lighting's all weird because now it's single camera, and
Oh, that's such a weird idea to do. Is it just for the last season?
Yeah, but again, it's only for like half of it. Afterwards, they were like, this isn't working. Let's go back. And I'm like, yes, fine. And the jokes feel different too because, like, I don't know. There's something about the liveness of it, I think, that helps.
It sounds like what happened in the middle of season 2 of Twin Peaks when David Lynch and Mark Frost leave.
Yeah. We got this like random stuff in the middle for a bit.
Yeah, like the Civil War thing, the reenactment.
Yeah. The only other time I can remember when you remember Christina Applegate and Will Arnett had a TV show where they were like the whole gimmick was they were new parents and they're having a hard time
Up
adjusting.
All Night.
Yeah, and the joke was, no, they keep swearing in front of the baby, but the baby's like 2 weeks old, so like it doesn't matter. But they're like, shit, we gotta fucking and I get beeped out every second. Well, in the middle of season 2, NBC really wanted that show to work, and they should have canceled it in the first season, but they brought it back for a second season, and then partway through that, they're like, this still isn't working. Let's turn this single-camera sitcom into a multi-camera sitcom. And sure enough, that also didn't work, and the show got canceled, finally.
I totally remember when that was happening.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there you go. That's a little tidbit from, 9 years ago, whatever, maybe even more.
Yeah, no.
15 years ago.
Maybe over a decade ago.
Sure, everybody wanted to hear about that show.
No, it's nice.
Will Arnett was like the king. He was like the male version of Andrew Anders. He was like a god at being on canceled sitcoms.
Yeah, as soon as Arrested Development ended, he was just like on...
Ended? You mean got canceled? Yeah, the streak began. Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, no one got brought back. Do you know they got rid of those extended, like the original run of season 4 of Arrested Development on Netflix, and now it's the like edited properly into 22-minute like episodes, and there's 22 now instead of like 14.
Weirdly enough, last night I thought of this very thing where I'm like, I remember they used to have one that was
so
every
weird.
episode. I don't know why it came up. as I was going to bed last night, a thought popped into my head, and I jumped all around, and then suddenly I was like, oh yeah, they had like those like 40-minute like follow a character episodes. This is a neat idea, but then they re-edited it. I didn't realize though that they got rid of the originals.
Yeah, no, they're all gone.
Like an artifact now. For the nerds that kept them and put them online somewhere.
Well, I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
For some crazy fucking reason, at the beginning of Netflix making shows, they did release season 4 on DVD, which I now own in that state of shittiness. I hated those edited episodes.
You've got such a rarity there.
I know.
It's like me owning Citizen. Like, who owns these things? Nobody. That's who.
Yeah, I get to rewatch the 43-minute Lindsay episode. That was fucking awful. I was like, this thing is too long. The fact that this is like the same length as like an episode of like an FX like drama.
Blue Bloods.
Too long. Blue Bloods. There you go. Yeah. CBS drama. I thought those ran around 45 minutes, but
yeah. You got season 15 of Blue Bloods or whatever. I don't know. Tom Selleck. I watched Joe Late Night with the Devil.
Oh,
heard of this movie?
Yes, I've been wanting to watch it, except for I think it's probably playing the exact same showtimes for you. It's only playing in the evening.
No, I watched it at I don't know, 12:50 in the morning, afternoon.
West Coastal Elite.
Yeah, life is good over here. I won't lie.
Yeah, Regal has it at 6:40 and 8:40, and I'm like, bullshit.
That would be annoying. I'm sure it'll be on demand soon.
Yeah, sure.
Let me tell you, reawakened an old childhood dream in me. I know it wasn't the goal of the movie, but it did, in fact, reawaken this dream of being a late-night talk show host.
What?
I'd watch your show.
You watch my show?
Absolutely.
Maybe you'd be my Andy Richter.
Oh, you would. You would? You really would? Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, I would. I don't know if the network would, but I would.
I'll try to stay light and charming and out of the way.
And we do like fun, wacky little bits with you every now and then.
That sounds nice.
I also been going through The Simpsons again, too. And I have decided this hot take. You ready for this hot take?
Sure.
I've crunched the numbers. Done the research, looked through the archives. I think if you had to put a gun to my head, I would say season 8 is the best episode of The Simpsons.
Oh, season 8, yeah.
Some people might quibble with me, but I don't think they would quibble too hard.
Is that the season that has Johnny Cash as a talking fox?
It sure is.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the best seasons.
Let me pull up that episode list, because I finished the season and then kind of went back through it, and I was like, holy shit, this is some...
Yeah. Does it also have the X-Files one?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it's a great episode.
It's got the Hank Scorpio episode.
Oh, wow. Wow, an
Homer
all-timer.
becomes a boxer. Rodney Dangerfield is Mr. Burns' son. Barnes works at a bordello. Milhouse's parents get divorced. Lisa starts dating Nelson. A hurricane destroys Ned's house, and he has a hissy fit on the whole town.
Oh, the pretzel episode. That's
the pretzel episode. Homer Simpson and Mr. Burns get trapped in an avalanche.
I believe that has the infamous line, "Stupid, sexy Flanders."
Yeah. No, that's not.
No, it's a different one. Oh man.
They go skiing in that episode. Sadly,
that's the one when all the kids get trapped in the school, right?
Yeah. Now that I don't know now. That's a good one too. There's Itchy and Scratchy and Poochie. There's the Mary Poppins one.
Oh wow.
There's the John Waters Homer being afraid of gay people episode.
Yeah.
Sideshow Bob and gets visited by his brother, played by Niles.
Mm-hmm. The bootlegger episode where
Homer becomes the beer baron.
Oops, all bangers. It's an oops, all bangers.
The Lovejoy focused episode, Frank Grimes.
Spin-off showcase, one of my old favorites.
One of the greatest TV parody episode ever. Skinner and Krabappel start dating. All winners. There's even a couple we haven't even mentioned. But I think if you picked anything between season 5 and season 8, I think anyone would be happy. Season 2 through 4, ramp-up seasons, pretty good.
Yes.
I wouldn't fault you for those. 9 through 12, ramp-down season, still good. That's a good run. If you got 11 seasons of near gold every time, a lot of sitcoms would kill for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll talk about this movie now that I've said my piece on my dreams and my Simpsons and Drew Carey show.
I liked hearing about all of them. I'm ready.